This is how much time he has left. This is an innocent man that's been framed, and he has this much time to be with us. If I can I sign a petition for him? Just type in this name. I'm keeping this up. Marcellus Williams. And they have it to where you can text the number. I did everything I could on my part, but I'm spreading this news. I don't know how to turn the camera, but it's Marcellus Williams. Just type that in. Google it, and it'll tell you all the information you need. Just type in Marcellus Williams petition. That's all you have to do. You can do it on your phone, your laptop, or your iPad. If you do that for me, I would really appreciate that. And he doesn't have a lot of time. It's counting down as we speak. So I'm just holding this up so people can see this. And I'm hoping everybody's having a good day. And I really appreciate any and everybody who's participating. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if no one told you they love you today, I'd like to be the first one to say, I love you. And I'm thanking everyone in advance. And hopefully we can get this done, because he's an innocent person. And I just want to make sure I'm doing my part and at least spreading the news. So please and thank you. That's all. I love you.
Y'all, Freddie Owens has been executed because the governor decided he was not going to commute his sentence after his friend told that, after his friend told that he lied on him just to get himself out of trouble. After the prosecutors went and said the DNA did not match, after everything that happened, the judge and the governor said, no. Like, y'all can take innocent people's lives. Like, this man was innocent, and y'all literally just executed him. Like, for what reason, when it was a total lie? And it's like, the same people that are supposed to protect us are the same people that are hurting us. And I'm talking about us as our people, because it ain't really happening to nobody else. It's only happening to us. And when I say us, y'all know what I mean when I say us. They literally took this man's life over a lie. And the same Justice Department and justice system and police force and all of these things can do whatever they want to do to us, and we got to sit back and be quiet. And I thought maybe the voices on social media and the numbers that were being called, because there were a lot of people working in the background, and they still did it. Like, they still did it. Y'all know what to do. Get in the comments. I'm emotional because I just can't believe it. Like, I really thought they were going to stay this man execution. They did not. Y'all, Freddie.
These people don't stop.
The Department or Sheriff Department can knowingly be in the sun downtown.
So I got a story for you about this. I just got my CEO. I got hired on with the company. My trainer was a black man. Okay? I was out with him for about 3 weeks, and we had to do a 34-hour reset in a small little town in Arkansas. Pretty close to Mississippi, Louisiana. I'd say about a good 30-40 miles from either state. And so we stopped, do our 34-hour reset. We went inside to get some food and eat. Well, we were both getting funny still from the waist out and the patrons in the establishment. So we decided to go outside and see our food in the truck. And a few hours later, we heard a knock on the truck. Okay, he looked outside to the shelf department. said, the cops are here. I think, okay. He rolled down his window and said, yeah, what's going on? The officer said, you guys need to get out of here before it gets dark. The guy said, hey, we're doing a reset. We can't move. We had to do a 24-hour reset. The officer said, I don't give a shit. You need to leave. I am not going to clean up no dead bodies and not do a report. I'm not going to plan on protecting you guys. You need to leave now. We're like, why? Well, let's just say a group of people that used to wear white hoods and rode horses at one time, they knew that we were in town and we needed to leave. So we left. What baffles me is I still can't believe that the police protect criminals like that today, or back then, I guess. And from my knowledge, that there was still many sundown towns around, and I never even heard of I heard of sundown towns, but it was like, this is like 1960, 1970 shit. This can't exist no more. Sadly, it does. And it needs to end today.
The Department of Sheriff Department can knowingly be in a sundown town.
So I got a story for you. About this.
So see, just to make it seem like it's not our imagination, you have to hear from the guy himself. Because when black people say something, it's probably not even taken seriously. But when another person says something, a non-black that says something, then it's like, wow, okay.
There ain't no motherfucking way this shit right here is still happening in this country.
We have to get the word out loud around TikTok here.
Y'all can sit there and say what you want to, but I'm telling you, this shit is somehow, for some stupid ass reason, still happening. Y'all got to quit. You know, I understand, I don't like people. There's some people I don't like. But this man did not deserve that. His family, the McGee family, my prayers are with you, and I know that does not help you in this time, but I swear, y'all, we got to do better as a country. We can sit here and we can argue Democrat, Republican, Independent. We can talk about all types of politics all day long, but at the end of the day, this man was working, doing his damn job, driving, and somebody took this man's life in this type of form. We got to do better. If it is 2024 and we still can't get over the color of a motherfucker's skin, all the shit going on in this world, and we're still worried about the color of a man's skin. And y'all think we got problems. Y'all better get it together, man. McGee family, we praying for you. And like I said earlier, I know it doesn't help you in this time, but I will tell you this. I can't even sit here and lie to you and tell you that it gets better, because it don't. Knowing that your son, your cousin, your nephew, your uncle went out like that. There's nothing I can say. Nobody can comfort you in this time of need after what that man right here, this man, what he suffered and went through. God, I hope they find him. I'm doing more research, and I tell you what, if anybody knows anything, Henderson, North Carolina, Sheriff's Department, FBI, CSI, it doesn't matter. Call somebody and let them know if you know anything regarding this incident. Thank y'all.
It's real, everybody. Still, America's not free.
Oh, I am so glad you asked that question, my friend. Listen, cover up. I am screaming at the top of my motherfucking lungs. Cover up. Hear me. That's how see, I'm so glad you asked that question. I got an answer for you. I told y'all I'm a dog. I ain't letting this motherfucking shit go. I'm not letting this slide until we get some evidence. Walmart, I'm calling your ass out too. Because I know you seeing what's going on. Why the fuck you ain't come forward with the footage? But let's get to this receipt. The police are saying they found a receipt in this young man's truck for rolling papers. P.S. They didn't find any, DRUGS, and for the rope. They were so quick to go to social media saying, we don't know nothing about this case. We aren't handling this case. We are doing this and we are doing that. Y'all so motherfucking quick to go to social media to defend yourself when you knew another police department was handling this case. Even though that county is in Henderson County in North Carolina, you knew what the fuck y'all were doing. So why haven't you posted a receipt to social media? Why haven't you still let this family see their motherfucking babies? I'm telling you right motherfucking now. Why the world? Let's say you did have a receipt. Let's go down this motherfucking path. Let's say you did find a receipt. What in the world could a truck driver possibly need a motherfucking rope for? But y'all real quick to put emphasis on the fact that a black man purchased rolling papers, huh? You real quick to do that shit. I'm surprised y'all didn't post pictures of the motherfucking zippies on social media. Y'all was so quick to make this man start disparaging this young man's character. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We ain't gonna fucking let you do that. I ain't gonna let you motherfucking disparage this young man's character. Show us the fucking receipt with the video of him purchasing it. But then I need you to make this make sense to me. Why is this motherfucking young man driving from Chicago to Henderson to buy a rope where he's delivering shit? He just got his CDL. Everything's going great in this young man's life. We're supposed to believe he did this, and he walked 70 yards away from his vehicle to do this? And you're saying it wasn't a lynching because they didn't have the bow tie knot in the back or this, that. Motherfucker, it ain't got shit to do with that. You put a rope around a black man's neck, it's a motherfucking lynching. Stop trading words. Stop. This is insanity that you're doing this. End of the day, Walmart, everyone tag Walmart in the comment section. Walmart, release the motherfucking video to the public. 2, release photos of the fucking receipt if you got them. 3, prove to me this young man, which I'm gonna be another video, doesn't have rash burns around his wrists. That's another video I'll be talking about later. We are tired of fucking listening to you. You expect us to trust you motherfucking blind that when a black man was hanging from a tree, not hanging, leaning outward against a tree with a rope around his neck. Yeah, I know, you don't want to call it lynching, but guess what? We're fucking calling it a lynching. Period. And let those parents identify their babies. If he ain't got a mark on them, let them see their baby. Let them see their motherfucking baby. Or I'm telling you right now, I'm not quitting. My friends ain't quitting. We ain't stopping this shit. I want the FBI involved. I want them to take over this case from y'all because y'all are fucking irresponsible. And if you don't know that North Carolina, and especially Henderson, is a sundown state. If you don't know what that is, Google that shit. It's where people of other colors aren't welcome there after dark. If you doubt me, Google it. Stop fucking playing with us. We don't give a fuck about the roller papers. We don't care about trading words about lynching or not lynching. End of the day, a black man had a rope around his motherfucking neck and was hanging around a tree, and you're trying to make us believe he killed himself. And we're calling bullshit, and we want you to prove it to us and let the motherfucking family see their baby. Get the fuck out of here. Justice for Javion. Ho ho ho.
I got something to show you. Relate to North Carolina and relate to this other incident.
Give a big up to all my subs and supporters who like, comment, and share the videos. In addition, a special big up to all those who purchased my masterpiece, my book, The N-Word is No Secret in the Service. Big up to you all. Let's cook. Okay, people, really messed up story right here that didn't have to happen. Out of the state of North Carolina, a place called Rockingham to be exact, and this happened about a month before this video went published on YouTube. It happened about a month ago, in like August of 2024. Now, in this story, we have a 23-year-old young black man by the name of Jaden McNeil. They say he's a good young man. He's heavy into his religion. William Griffin lives across the street from Jaden. This day, Jaden decides to go over there to pray with William Griffin, or invite him to prayer. You know, give him a spiritual blessing. So he goes over there and Jaden knocks on the door. When he knocks on the door, William Griffin shoots through the door 7 times. 7 times. He hit Jaden with 5 of those rounds. 5 of those shots hit Jaden. Now, after he did this, after he shot Jaden 5 times for knocking on his door to pray, I don't know if Jaden was laying on the ground or still standing up, but the Richmond County Sheriff's Office showed up and also other first responders. When the first responders came, they're checking Jaden out, you know, rendering aid to his wounds, okay? But when they did this, the neighbor, William, he's standing there the whole time with his gun in his hand like it's just a cell phone or whatever or anything. Never did the Richmond County Sheriff's Office draw down on him when they seen a man hurt or a man down and another man with the gun. They didn't do that. They pulled up and it was like another day. He had the gun in his hand. They didn't fire no shots at him. They didn't pull out, yell, put it down. None of that. None of that. And the Richmond County Sheriff's Office is saying that William Griffin was afraid that Jaden was attempting to break in, and that's why he fired those shots. That's their story, and that's what they're backing. They said this was okay, it was legal. They're not arresting this man. They said that that man felt that he thought that Jaden was trying to break into his house. Again, people, I didn't say this part. It was broad daylight. This was morning time. This was morning time. Now, people, Jaden, he is healing. He was in critical condition. Now he's in stable condition and he's still in ICU. But the last I heard, he's okay. He should recover from this. I hope the young man is okay. I hope he heals. And I hope he can fully recover from these shots.
Breaking news! If you think unemployment is your only option to get money from the state, well, let me tell you,
recover from these shots.
Tonight, 23-year-old Jaden McNeil of Rockingham continues to fight for his life after a bizarre shooting back on August 22nd.
He was shot at 7 times, but he was only hit 5. You know, this is the guy across the street.
Jaden's father says the gunman is their neighbor living directly across the street. That morning, he believes his son was going across the street to pray with his neighbor who's 72 years old.
He is a resilient young man. It was on his mind to, you know, try to spread the good news.
But at some point, that neighbor fired shots through their front door. This is video of that door. Jaden was struck in the chest, stomach, arm, and hand.
My son was still standing whenever I got across the street to him, with his hands up to the sky.
The sheriff is contradicting the family's version of events, posting on Facebook that the homeowner believed Jaden, who has no criminal history, was trying to break in, even after the first few shots.
According to the family, there was no kicking or trying to break down the door. That neighbor has not been arrested or charged. Living across the Rileys for 8 years, Charles is sure the neighbor knew his son.
He would often read his Bible in here in the driveway.
Nancy Buchanan, who we met outside the sheriff's office, is familiar with Jaden's devotion to his faith. She recently lost her own son.
Jaden was even witnessing to some of the young people in the yard.
Now, she's doing the same.
Praying for a breakthrough in this city to change and be real with people. Be honest with people. Treat people right.
Okay, my people, tear them comments up. Tear them up. Tear them up. Now first, let me say this. I do believe that it was wrong for William Griffith to shoot through his door when somebody's knocking on the door without a weapon. You know, nothing visible to see that he was a threat. I think that this man, William Griffith, should go to jail for this, should go to prison. Totally wrong. Now, don't let anything that I'm going to say act as an excuse for this man, William Griffith, doing wrong, okay? He should be put in jail for this. That's my opinion. Shooting at the young brother through the door with a Bible in his hand, no threat, never had a problem with him. You just seen him knocking on the door and said you're gonna let some rounds go. And this man knew what he was doing, people. He's 72 years of age. Unless he has some kind of mental condition, there are a lot of 72-year-olds that are out running around, going to the gym every day, doing what everybody else does, going to the library, purchasing books, reading, perfectly fine. He's not that old. Now, people, what do we keep on saying, man? If it wasn't for stories like this that people could actually read or hear, people would tell you that you're lying, that ain't true. Come on. What is a young black man in 2024 doing, knocking on a white man's door in North Carolina to pray? A young black man. Who taught him this? Do you all see this nonsense? People, let's go back to 1964.
I'm telling you, for your own benefit, you had better turn around and get out of this area. You're not going to the courthouse in a group on the condition that you come here, and I'll assure you that.
All we would like to do, sir, is to go to the
Courthouse is closed. There's no business here.
I don't want to go in the courthouse. I want to go to the front of the courthouse, kneel in prayer, and go flash every time.
You take your prayers back to your church. That's a proper place to pray.
Yes,
I'm sure that God will hear your prayer just as well down there as he will up here, but you're not going on this courthouse front.
Sir, whenever there are men who are in the same condition, prayer should be uttered wherever they are.
Then why don't you pray where you are? Go back down there and pray. You think you lily white? You think you're not sinful?
No.
Well, then go back to your church and pray.
Sir, when we pray together, you and I.
You do your prayer. I do mine, big boy. You don't pray for me. I don't want you to pray for
What
me.
will you pray for us?
Because I don't think your prayers get above your head.
What will you pray for us?
No, I'm not going to pray for you. I'll tell to my business, you tell to you, and they say, I'm these people out of here.
Sir,
I don't have to love anybody I don't want to love. Sir, do your own love. You love your little niggas. I love who I please.
do you believe in equal justice for all?
I believe in justice.
Do you believe in equal?
I don't believe in equal nothing. There's no two people in this world alike, and they are not equal on any terms or conditions. There's no two peas in the world alike. No two pieces of money and nothing else.
Sir, are you saying that if I have a quarter and I'm black and you have a quarter and you're white, then my quarter isn't as worth as much as your
That's
quarter?
your quarter. I'll decide what my quarter is worth. You use yours and I use mine. You're a catfish sandwich.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home
Y'all seen that? People, we already did that. Same response. You see what the cop told the young man. I believe that he was 15 in this video, but okay, I'm giving him a break. Shouldn't we have learned from that? I mean, don't we learn from stuff like that? That stuff don't work with white people. It don't work. The white man does not want to pray with you. He don't love you. He don't respect you. He don't even think that you all pray to the same God. He don't like you for the time being unless you're either entertaining him or making him some money for the time being. This man is 72 years of age in North Carolina and white. What made Jayden think that this was something that was okay? Young man, that was a smart thing to do. That it was cool or even godly. And people, you know what? When I see black people doing this, Jayden is old enough to understand some things. Due to the condition and the state of black people in America, I think Jayden's 24. His mind maybe 16. It's different, y'all. But I think that he understands what he's doing. He probably went to public school, probably went to private school, never learned anything about his history. And then when he did see things about his history, he probably had some kind of cognitive dissonance towards it. You know how people put up those blocks and they want to think everything else except what the reality is right in front of their face when they see other stories. I don't know if Jayden was like that, possibly so. A lot of our people are. I have to start kind of lean towards that, because what would make you think as a young black man that it's okay to knock on a 72-year-old white North Carolina Tar Heel cracker's door to go pray with him? You know, I don't think this was something, I don't even know what to say, y'all. I think this is one of them situations where we have a black person who just wants Whitey to love them so bad and wants their approval. You know what I mean? You know those situations where a lot of our people, they just want to be, you know, a lot of these white people be shunning, being mean to them, nasty, spitting at them. And these happy black people, they just want this white man and this white lady to taste their peach cobbler and be their friend. Sit down with them with a tall glass of sweet tea and taste their peach cobbler. Some of our people just don't want to let it go, y'all. The white person could be sitting there telling them, I'm the shaitan, I hate you, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. You got a good heart. It's just really sick, people. They don't want to pray with you, yo. Chill out. This boy got shot at 7 times by this neighbor. Hit 5 times. Acting like he's walking across the bridge in Selma, hoping that some white person will embrace and pray with him. I don't see the goodness in this act, y'all. I don't know what to say, y'all. I'm going to jump out the window and say this. And if you don't agree with my opinion, I'm not going to debate you. You are right, whatever, because it's an opinion. When I see black people doing stuff like this, I don't think it's something that's coming from the kindness of their heart or a good gesture. I don't think it's something that where they say, I was guided by God. I don't believe that. I believe that these are people who are under Caucasian European hypnosis on some dumbfounded remote control, and they just want white people to accept them and like them and want to prove to white people that I'm not like them. No, I'm not like them. Look at me. I don't know what to say, y'all. I don't think that this was a nice gesture on Jayden's part by doing that. I don't believe that stuff anymore. In 8 years living next to this guy, William Griffith, I find it very hard to believe that this guy, William Griffith, didn't give off 72-year-old. I find it hard to believe that this 72-year-old white man didn't give off North Carolina Tar Heel cracker vibes in that 8 years that he lived next to William. I guess Jayden might have been in high school when he first met him, and then got older. He's about, 23, 24. I mean, come on. What was the relationship here? You know what I'm saying? Was this guy William Griffith coming over to barbecues with Jayden's family? Like, what's up? I have a lot of questions about this. What was the relationship? I guarantee you that this old white man had been giving off cracker vibes. But some of our people just don't want to see it. I want to see the goodness in him. And I'm not trying to say at all that people shouldn't do the justice for Jayden thing. Yeah, do that. Yeah, do all that. Because I think that this man knew what he was doing and he wanted to do, and he wanted to go to jail. But a lot of times, I try to tell people all the time, I make these videos, it's now like, okay, what are you going to do now? What would you do in this situation? Don't go knocking on a 72-year-old North Carolina cracker's door to pray with him. It's that simple. People ask these questions, what do we do? That's the answer. These white people are out here shooting black women who drive Uber. That story crushed me. That sister was driving Uber, just doing her job. White man comes out the house. You remember that, y'all? In Ohio? Or was it Michigan? Which one was it? She's just driving Uber. The man comes at her. He follows her to shoot her. Takes her life. Stuff like that is going on all the time. You have black Amazon UPS drivers getting shot at and chased by white supremacists. And here we have a 24-year-old young black man in North Carolina going across the street to knock on a white man's door with a Bible to pray. With his black face in a Bible. People, this is absolutely sick.
If you've been waiting to apply for disability benefits, don't. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm a lawyer at Atticus.
I'm going to show you where this mindset comes from in America. This lady's going to break it down.
I have been talking about racism, white supremacy for the last, I hate to say it, 37 years. And it has been interesting to me because many people, many of my colleagues in psychiatry have said racism was a part of the past. And black people do not have to talk about racism anymore. And why is that? Dr. Francis Welsing continuing to beat on the drum about racism, white supremacy. Because it wasn't long ago, although it's been decades ago, that I debated another Nobel Prize laureate, Dr. William Shockley, the person who won the Nobel Prize for inventing the transistor. And he was going around in the 1970s.
What's up, everybody? Just want you to know that during the late 19th and 20th century, eugenics and scientific racism was very, very dominant in European and American scientists, which promoted the idea of gene superiority. Gene superiority during those times, during the Jim Crow times, white people are seeing so much viable as compared to black people. And you know the eugenics, how it's being conducted. We have black people who are sterilized and white people who are basically promoted. They argue that the white race was more superior. The white genes was more superior than the black genes. And this is a narrative that was, proposed by a scientist who is called Francis Galton in 1883. Now, you may be wanting to know what is eugenics. For those who don't know, eugenics is a set of beliefs and practices aimed at improving the genetic quality of human population. It became popular in the 19th and 20th century, primarily in Europe and the United States. The movement was based on assumption that certain traits which included intelligence, physical health, and morality, were inherited, and that by controlling reproduction, these traits could be encouraged or discouraged in future generations. The term was coined by a British scientist called Francis Galton, which was done in 1883, and its ideas were influenced by Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. Okay, now listen. In an environment where European and American scientists promoted eugenics, I believe that superiority of some races were better than other races. This idea was used to argue that white people were biologically superior to other races, especially black people. This pseudoscientific theory justified policies such as forced sterilization, segregation, and exclusion of black people from certain opportunities. These ideas were discredited in modern science, but they continue to influence perception, and that's the narrative that white people did have. because the perception of black people in the media, they were seen as people who are violent, and that's how the media used to show much about black people. So people saw it to it like the black gene is associated with much violence, chaos, drug abuse, with diverse stuff. And this is proven. There's this video that I did recently why whites age like milk while black age like wine. And this white lady commented by saying that, yes, you look younger, but you die faster as compared to we white people. And I was like, damn, okay, you might be saying truth, because this is how the media has been representing black people. And so the world is hostile towards a black person, especially in Europe and in the United States. So whatever he was saying was trying to prove the systemic issues that doesn't care about the health, about the living standards, about the security, about the welfare of black people. Definitely, that's what she confirmed about this, okay? So this shows you how scientific racism and eugenics, how their influence has been. So today, watching this video of Dr. Cress Wilson, she's African American who have talked about black and white relationships. She has studied more of the anatomy between black and white people, and she got something to say about why we have black people, we have white people who will always say negative things about the genes of black people. Why will they degrade the gene of black people? So I want us to watch this video. It's a 16-minute video that you will get to listen to hear a perspective about what he says. I'll be back with my commentary as usual. This is Eugene Stories. If you're watching this video for the first time, I'll ask you to subscribe, like, share the video so that it can get people who are like-minded like you. Until then, let's dive right into the video.
70s, talking about black people were genetically inferior compared to white people. But I had written a paper that I presented in 1970 at the National Medical Association, because then some of my colleagues were talking about racism. And I had written a paper talking about why do people who classify themselves as white have to demean and degrade black people's genetics. And that paper was entitled The Crest Theory of Color Confrontation and Racism, White Supremacy. And in that paper, I talked about the fact that when people who classify themselves as white keep saying something is wrong with black people's genetics, see, 3 of their fingers are pointing back at themselves. And I didn't invent any genetics. I just simply thought about the things that I had been taught in their institutions and in medical school. That the inability to produce skin pigmentation is defined not by Francis Welsing, but by their own scientists as a genetic recessive trait and a genetic deficiency. And it is albinism. A-L-B-I-N-I-S-M, albinism, meaning the cells in everybody's skin that are called melanocytes, that are charged with the production of melanin pigment, the black pigment. If you have a lot of melanin, you're crystal black, a little bit less you look brown, a little bit less you look red, a little bit less you look yellow, and white is almost none at all. Now they had defined albinism as a genetic deficiency state when they were talking about mice and rats and other forms of life. They they never thought that some black person would come along and say, if the majority of the people on the planet have pigmented skins, then as far as human beings are concerned, white skin is albinism. Do you follow what I'm saying? See, in other words, they were busy saying something is wrong with you, when in reality there was something wrong with them. And I explained that this is the reason that they suntan. You see, trying to create color. And I'm updating it and saying now that this is the reason that so many of them are trying to cover their bodies with tattoos. See, now we need to think about that, because sometimes monkey see, monkey do. And we don't understand why. See, it's like they do something, we think we have to do something. There's some black people who think that they have to get in the sun and tan too. See, but we have been blessed by the Creator with color. And indeed, and in fact, the Creator made us the chosen people, in that we are the mothers and fathers of everybody on this planet. You see, and as the original people, we were crystal black people. The color that we have been taught to hate under racism, white supremacy. You see, but this not only explained the suntanning and maybe now the tattooing, but I said this is the core of racism. And this is why racism contains within it, it's dynamic, the need to destroy black people in general, but black men in particular. You see, and we are seeing that with the high level of incarceration of black men, with the dropping out of school, and the high levels of unemployment. And that goes back to the fact that black men are perceived as the persons who can cause white genetic annihilation. Now, as a female, women, we have...
That's the reason why, let me interrupt right here, why some white people find it offensive for their son and daughter to get with black people, because of which that comment. And that is through the generational things that they been told over and over and over. That's why I said, why is that? What is wrong? Love is love. It's almost like similar to the thing. For example, some people, 2 men and 2 women get together. It's the same mindset. The same mindset. Even though that, maybe morally it might be, and spiritually, but to them that's the way it is. But now, when it comes to man and woman, but when it comes to someone of the opposite race, this where she comes in at.
Ovaries, and in our ovaries we have the genetic material. But women cannot impose and force sexual intercourse. Shall I say that again? See, females, we can try to entice and influence. But if I reached in my purse and pulled out an Uzi, and I started to threaten a man and say, I don't care if your wife is here, you were going to have sexual intercourse, and I frightened him, he wouldn't be able to. See, because the erection disappears in the presence of fear. So women cannot impose sexual intercourse. And so the white collective, from the time that Christopher Columbus came out of Spain in his little boats and started the white people circumnavigating the globe, they began to realize, wait a minute, all these other people on the planet are people of color. And the men, just like the founding fathers. Did you hear the term? See, black people, we don't need to say founding fathers. We need to talk about the founding fathers, the Thomas Jeffersons, the George Washingtons, and all of those slave holders.
That's where it starts.
Who were raping and taking sexual advantage of black women.
Fact.
They found out that by sexually relating, their white color would disappear. And they began to understand, wait a minute, when they realized that they were just a tiny, tiny minority population on the planet. And see, we're still busy calling ourselves minorities. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They are the minority on the planet, but they know the value of saying repeatedly to other people that they are the minorities because it makes them feel weak and it makes them feel vulnerable. So we really need to start talking about the global white minority. The global white minority. The global white minority. See, and the global white minority realized that for them to genetically survive on planet Earth, they have to have control over all of the non-white people. And because black people have the greatest genetic potential to cause white genetic annihilation, the heaviest pressure has to be on us as a people, as a total people, and as black men in particular. And so therefore, we learned, many of us learned before we learned how to read or write. If you are black, get back. If you are brown, stick around. If you are yellow, you're mellow, and if you're white, you're all right. They were just color coding what they needed to do for white genetic survival. And that is continuing on the planet today. So I maintain that we need to update our understanding and understand the noose, like they're trying to tell us, is just a joke and that it doesn't mean anything. I would suggest that for every person who hasn't already read the book Without Sanctuary, it's a pictorial essay of all the lynchings and castrations of black men and burning of black men as white people stood around and cheered, and in some cases taking home body parts.
I'm going to make a video about that.
We need to look at that and study that. And I say don't waste any energy hating white people. That's not taking us anywhere. Mm-hmm. It's like if we sat down at a chessboard to play chess at a tournament. You don't beat your opponent by hating your opponent. You have to take all of your energy and understand exactly the moves that the opponent is going to make and make certain that you know how to counter those moves. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not a mystery to black people. Black people are expert playing basketball, playing football, playing baseball. All of these are psyching your opponent. What moves is the opponent going to make? And you make counter moves that can checkmate the opponent and move on to victory. So we need to understand and master Instead of trying to ignore racism and pretend that it doesn't exist or that it went away some time ago. No, racism is alive and well. Racism is a total global system that, as Neely Fuller outlined in his textbook for victims of racism, textbook for victims of white supremacy, racism operates in economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Now I'm adding to that health, because people are busy right now talking about healthcare disparities. But there are disparities in all of those areas of activity. There are disparities in economics and disparities in education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, and health. And I say disparities in entertainment. Why? When only certain kinds of images can be shown of black people, where negative and demeaning and degrading and buffoon-like images are portrayed of black people, that is helping to maintain the system of racism, white supremacy.
Boom.
Or in entertainment, when the system of racism says, I know people like Public Enemy, they started out with giving a political message. But when they put that political message on a beat, the system of racism said they can revolutionize the thinking of their people.
Mm-hmm.
So no, we have to pay them large sums of money and make some of them millionaires. But the price they will have to pay is calling themselves dogs and calling themselves gangsters and thugs and calling women bitches and hoes and bow wows. Because they understand if you can get a people to demean and to degrade themselves, then you have beaten them. You have beaten them and you have defeated them.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope.
And now, shout out to this channel. But I want to, spend the next 5 minutes telling you what this really is about. So, when we see on social media people coming to the Bible and coming to the knowledge of who they are as Hebrews that's connected to the Bible, they quick to say that, and they start reaching back and this was on, remember the DNA thing back in the 80s and 90s? And so people start researching and find out who is connected, how they're connected. And so when we have some black gentlemen like Ron Dalton and different individuals, and then it was also Jewish people that connect these people to the Bible, that changed they wanted to change the image. So when Kanye and Kyrie was talking about the movie, it messed up their mindset. But they want to keep the image of the black men because they're afraid they're going to lose billions and millions of dollars. That's why they don't mind joking with you, cutting up with you, and everything. But at the same time, when them black billionaires and millionaires, when you do something wrong, they're ready to snatch it away. These people in power are so arrogant, they think that they're next to God. This is the truth. And so they have to maintain and come around. And they even tell they probably elders tell them, why do you go around these people? Because of what she said. They're low vibrational. Some of the religions even said that black people weren't even human. Black people come from the devil. So, okay, if that's the case, then why is it that you keep coming around? Why would you want to go around the devil? Why you pick people? You see how the story, the mind have to see? But this is how it's done. But I was going, on my next video, I'm going to show you, on this one commentator made about the clip. And then I'm going to put and my point is to show you the past and how it's connected to the present. Everything you see is spiritually connected. When you hear about these towns, like sundown towns, those are spiritual strongholds down there. And if you look in and do the research on them strongholds, that is an ancient hatred that goes back in ancient envy, is a jealousy. It's like, and they don't even. There's some people like, why do you hate black? Why do you dislike black people so much? They can't even help it. I think it's something. It really in the generations, in the blood. Some people have it, and it takes the Most High God to reveal that. This is something deep that it started in Western nations, like Miss Wellston said, not just in America, but in England and other places too. But America is one of the places where it went to a whole different level of taking another human being's parts of their body. And I'm going to put that, I'm going to show you that the next video. And so it's real. And they don't want this out. That's why they try to shut down people's voice. Because, you can't shut away truth. People are going to find truth. Because we don't want our kids to feel that subconscious. Why not? If you did something wrong, what you got to feel bad about? That's why. But the subconscious of some racist people, and some people don't even know that they're subconsciously racist until they see a video like this. So, hope this be a lesson, and educate, like, subscribe, and share, and educate the people, because more truth is coming out, and God is taking things off our eyes, and truth goes to all walks of life. All people should know real truth, not just something that's kind of hit and miss here and there. But be careful out there. And to the black, be careful. You're a black person in America, wherever you go. That's not just for a truck driver, but if you're a traveler, be careful. Some of these people have a spirit of envies, and it's turning to the unloving people. So be careful. Be blessed. See you on next video. Like and subscribe. Take care.